So I wanted to share a little bit about what we could do with this data from a facility perspective. So what you'll see here is one of many dashboards that we can create. And I'm going to kind of walk you through a few examples. In this case, we are looking at a sample of abdominoplasties that were done, in this case, 30 procedures. And if you look, I can actually tell what the real cost for the procedure was in every Medicare region. So in region 2, the average cost of the procedure was $237.31. In region 3, it was $224.23. And if we look over at region 5, which is a bit higher, it's $260.28. Again, this is information that the facilities don't really know today. Now, I can take it further and say, I wonder why there's such a difference between what they're paying in region 3 and region 5. And I actually will come up with a list by region of the supplies they use and the average cost that they're paying for them. So if I take a peek at this, I can see that, for example, um, Monosoft, they're paying $2 in region 5 and they're only paying $1 in region 3. So you can start to see where some of these differences come in and understand where you're paying more, or basically which supplies are being used in which region. The other thing I can do here is, if I click on a region, I can drill down and I can look at the information by state, and I can drill down even further and look at by city. So I could tell you exactly what the average cost for a procedure is in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, $269.44. So very interesting information that the facilities would like to have in order to benchmark themselves and ensure that they're not only running as efficiently as possible, but also understanding the different types of products that are being used in similar procedures. So the other thing that we can do is we can start to look at the patient outcomes. And this is very interesting. What we're looking at here is, in those 30 abdominoplasties, where did we have outcomes of dehiscences, hematomas, infections, or necrosis? And what products were used and what were the comorbidities? So I'm going to take an example here, and we're going to look at vicral sutures. And in the vicral sutures, it shows that I had 8 dehiscences. If I click on that 8, I can actually see what the comorbidities or other conditions were that existed in those 8 patients where we had dehiscence with vicral sutures. And in this example, if you look over to the right, you can see that 8 of the 8 patients were also receiving radiation therapy. 2 had diabetes. So you can start to see and draw some correlations as to where you may or may not want to use a particular product. Again, I can do the same thing and look at hematomas and see what the conditions are. And every one of these is clickable so that you can understand what those were. Additionally, if you look at the lower right-hand corner, you can see where it occurred in which age group. And we could add many other factors to here. Again, these are just examples of some of the things that we might be able to look at and that facilities would be interested in. So the last one I'll show you is around the outcome occurrence timing. And in this case, what we said is where we had abdominoplasties, where there was an infection. In this case, we're saying there were 9 infections present. What antibiotics were they on? Were they given antibiotics at time of surgery? Were they given a 7-day supply, a 3-day supply, or a greater than 10-day supply? Again, these are just examples. And in this case, we can say, of the infections that took place, 2 of the patients were on Anacept and were prescribed less than 7 days worth of antibiotics. So again, this data can be mixed and matched many different ways, but this is a great way to show some examples, and you can use your imagination to understand how much we can do with this data once we start collecting it. I hope this has helped everybody understand what we can do with the data. Thank you.